Wally and Real Love. It's 9:11 on your Friday morning. Thanks so much for having the morning drive on. I hope you're having a good start to your day. You should be at work now. If you're not, that means you're upper management and you're having breakfast.
No, you are celebrating National Day early.
Oh, right. They're taking today off.
See, yes. I'm going to Malaysia.
That's not the way you celebrate National Day.
Okay, so welcome into the Morning Drive. Today, we have with us here in the studio Miss Alice Ong from Health Promotion Board. Hello, Alice.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Alice is the Director of Preventive Health Programmes and Rewards at HPB. So we've invited, Alice here with us because of the ongoing problems that we're facing with vapes and K-Pods. And the scary thing is how it's getting into schools.
No one quite understands, at least I don't, and I think a lot of people don't understand the draw that this has. So let's set this up properly. For those who are unaware, can you tell us exactly what vapes and K-Pods are and how do they differ from, say, a traditional cigarette?
Right. Vapes are battery-operated devices that mimic the act of smoking by burning or heating up a nicotine salt or e-liquid such that there is an aerosol that contains nicotine that is generated and user will then inhale and exhale that as a vapor. The main difference between a vape and regular cigarette is that the former does not contain any tobacco leaves. K-pod is a new thing. It is basically a street term that is used to describe a pod that contains etomidate. And etomidate is a medical anesthetic agent and it can only be used under medical supervision.
So isn't etomidate used to sedate horses?
Yeah.
It's used to sedate horses and people are inhaling this.
Yeah, and that's why they're walking around like zombies, right? And falling over
weird.
and being non-functional. It's completely taken on their lives. What kind of? I mean, we talk about vaping. It is not illegal, right? Up until the point where K-Pods are they?
They are
No,
illegal. Vapes
vaping,
are illegal.
a normal vape is illegal.
Really?
Every time I see someone vape, I go, do you have the thousands of dollars to pay the fine if
No,
you're caught?"
exactly. So that's why I see people vaping. I know people who vape.
And they
But-
blatantly do
but-
it in public.
Yes. So okay. But what kind of health risks are associated with vaping?
Well, studies have shown that vaping generate toxic substances that can lead to cancer, as well as increased risk of lung and heart conditions. For example, there's this chemical called vitamin E acetate that is found in vapes, and it is closely associated with lung injury, such as pneumothorax, which basically means collapsed lungs.
Yeah.
Vapes also contains nicotine, and nicotine is very harmful to brain development. It can affect the brain's ability to impulse control. It can affect the brain's ability to attention as well as learning. It can also lead to mood disorders. So earlier I also talked about the presence of etomidate, right? Etomidate is a medical anesthetic agent. You can only use it under medical supervision. And in the recent times when the HSA, Health Sciences Authority, seized the vape, we have found etomidate in them, and it really reinforces our concern about the harms of vaping and the potential presence of other harmful substances that the user may be inhaling when they are using such products. Etomidate is something that is very new. And like I say, there is severe health consequences that's associated with it. For example, you can suffer from nausea or vomiting. You can lose control in your movement, muscle spasms, changes in your blood pressure and breathing, even seizures and psychosis. So it is really a great danger to our health. And we need to alert the public that it is very dangerous for them.
Yes. Okay, we're going to talk more on Facebook with Alice, so join us there, please.
1FM.
So everybody has heard this. I'm vaping because it's safer than a cigarette.
Yeah, but that is a misnomer.
So we know that that's not true. Where do you think this... Because I know for a fact, when vaping first started on social media, you saw people all over the world lying in hospital beds, dying.
From vaping.
From vaping.
Wow.
And it's a painful death. Hello? It's a painful death. And yet there is this misconception that it's not as bad as cigarettes.
Yeah.
How do you address that?
Well, I think in a youth sentiment survey that we conducted in December 2023, actually most of the youth do know that vaping is harmful and it is illegal. But many of them still choose to do it because of a few different reasons. For example, vapes do provide more interesting flavors that traditional cigarettes don't have. They are influenced by their peers and their social circle.
Yeah.
And they could be really stressed, and they see vaping as a way of seeking relief from stress. So, like you mentioned earlier, some some youth may really feel that vaping is safer than smoking. But it's important for us to note that the World Health Organization has come out and declared that vaping is not safe, it is harmful to health. It is not safer than the regular smoking.
Yeah,
and there is also evidence to show that vaping is in fact the gateway for non-smokers, especially youths, to get started on regular smoking.
they graduate to cigarettes after
Yes,
that.
they do. So for those, for those who are currently smoking, they may use vaping as a means of trying to quit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even if they quit, they do stay hooked onto the vapes,
Right.
and they continue to be addicted to nicotine in the long term.
Yeah.
For those who are unsuccessful in using vapes to quit, what happens is they end up being addicted to both. And therefore, they are addicted, or they are exposed to the harms of both types of products.
Which is even worse.
It is even worse. So nicotine is very addictive.
Yeah.
And therefore, our work must really focus on the prevention of initiation and uptake. So in recent times, we have intensified our education efforts with schools and with the educational institutions, working with the Ministry of Education to incorporate our messages into the education content. And therefore, we will continue to reach out to the youth through their preferred mediums, which would include social media, digital campaigns, as well as school programs.
So you were talking about was it an I Quit program, right? So this is reaching out to schools because, in a recent article by the Straits Times, they're selling K-Pods on these Telegram channels, which is easily accessed by kids.
And you guys have shut down hundreds of these.
Yeah, HSA has gone and shut down more than 600 of them. So aside from the I Quit program, how is HPB working with enforcement agencies to actually counter this evolving threat?
For HPB, we continue to raise public awareness on the harms of vaping, as well as the fact that it is illegal. So basically, we work through our vape-free campaign that goes through outdoor advertisements and various different social and digital media channels. We also have a dedicated microsite on Health Hub, which has anti-vaping content, as well as a section called Vaping Mistruth, and that's meant to counter some of the common misconceptions around vaping. Partnerships are very important to us, so we also work very closely with parents and teachers to ensure that our public education efforts are targeted upstream and can be reinforced. To promote the benefits of a nicotine-free lifestyle and to highlight the harms and illegality of vaping, we work with the Ministry of Education and the Institute of Higher Learning to make sure that our content goes into the school curricula so that students are then educated on the harms of vaping, some of the misconceptions around it, and what are the harms and negative effect on individual, families, and society.
Okay, so Kerry brought up the I Quit program. Can you kind of walk us through that? What's it like from sign up? What happens?
Well, I Quit is a program for those who are 18 years and above.
I see.
Basically, it is a smoking or vaping cessation program where we break down the quitting process into small actionable steps that a participant can do on a very everyday basis. And basically, we empower the individual with knowledge, motivation, and support that they will need as they go through this quit journey. So like I mentioned, it's for those 18 years and above. You have to be Singaporean, PR, and of course, a current smoker or vapor.
Okay,
So they go to the website to sign up? How does it,
Yeah, they can go to the website to sign up. So we have a website at go.gov.sg/iQuit, or they can also call our HPB's quit line at 1-800-438-2000.
I don't mean to throw a spanner in the works, but there are a lot of youngsters who are vaping. Someone listening to us now who is 16 or 17 who says, okay, this is scary, I want to quit. How do they do it then?
They can definitely call Quit Line. So iQuit is a program, so that's for 18 years and above.
Yeah.
But if you are younger than 18 years, you can always call Quit Line to seek help.
Okay.
Obviously, there are also students, 16, 17, they're still in school. And if they are caught vaping, we also provide cessation support to them. And that is again done through Quit Line, which is telecounseling. Or they could also get on-site face-to-face counseling through their school health advisors that are at selected secondary schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, selected schools. Not
Schools,
just,
yeah.
Okay, you talked about working with parents. In what capacity? Can you talk more about that?
Yeah. So we recognize that parents are a very important part in supporting their child on this quit journey. So first and foremost, of course, we together with the Health Sciences Authority issue an advisory to parents to emphasize to them on the harms and illegality of vaping. But of course, on Parent Hub, we do have a lot more resources that they can refer to when they need help to support their child. But there are also some tips and practical advice that we can provide for them in terms of how they can work with their kids. For example, we know that children are generally more receptive to listening when they are engaged in the problem solving together. So as a parent, you can perhaps start with asking your child what might help you be able to resist the urge of vaping, and really be open to listen to them, because they could have some really great ideas, and some of these ideas could involve doing healthy activities together, like engaging in sports or playing games together, or even drawing and painting. So knowing that would help you be able to formulate a plan or a strategy that you can work on together with your child, and then schedule regular chats with them so that you can check in on their progress.
I think that's a very good piece of advice, because I think a lot of this stems from boredom from the child, because there isn't that interaction with family members, because everybody's out working, because they have to be out working. It's not an easy task, and parents need to begin to set time aside for their children to interact with them, to have some kind of a bond, so that these conversations can take place.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on communications, it's also important to identify if there are some existing communication barriers that you may have with your child. For example, you can just ask them, what is it that you do not want me to be talking to you about? And knowing that, so that's really setting certain boundaries already. Knowing that would actually help you be able to calibrate an engagement approach with your child to enable effective two-way communications.
But you know, Asian parents, right? No lah, cannot talk about this. No lah, I better don't ask.
Either that, or they get either that, or they get very accusational, and they start to point fingers, and you are wrong, and you could go to jail, and blah 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 blah. It's not going to help you, kid.
Yeah, I think the key word here is being supportive.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so we know that when students are caught vaping, right, there are certain disciplinary action. Have you seen any success stories from these, like your intervention approaches that you've, the I Quit program and all that HPB does?
Yeah. So like I say, when students are caught vaping or smoking in school, they will be referred to a cessation program by HPB. So that's Quit Line. And then, of course, the school health advisors would be the other option. And over the past 1 year, from January last year, since March this year, we have already seen 1,800 students that has gone through the cessation program, of which 50% of them has managed to reduce or stay smoke-free or vape-free at the 1 month post-counselling time point.
Okay, Alice, hold that thought. I'm going to go back on air right now. The Cardigans with Love Fool here on 1FM 91.3. With us here today on a Friday morning, we got Alice Ong. She's the Director of Preventive Health Programmes and Rewards from Health Promotion Board. So we're just talking about, some of these success stories, right, from the intervention programs that you've done at HPB. What is the success rate? Tell us again.
Yeah, so I was saying that from January last year till March this year, there has been 1,800 students that's gone through our program, and 50% of them has managed to reduce or even managed to stay smoke-free or vape-free at 1 month post-counselling.
Wow.
Okay, I read, I think it was today's paper and today's news. Vape disposal bins in institutes of higher education. I'm going to be very honest. Are we going to see them nearer secondary schools? Will that happen?
Why not?
Yeah, because now that we know that they're targeting the younger kids, right?
It's not that the younger kids are smoking or using the vape.
Yeah.
It's the idea of seeing that bin near the school that reminds them it's wrong.
You think that'll work?
Well, it's a reminder. It's one more step. It's a reminder. It's constantly in their face when they get to school. You know what I mean? So that may help. Because I think it's great. I think it's great that it's gone into institutes of higher learning.
Yeah. Okay, we got listeners who actually WhatsApp us, right? What can the public do if they see someone openly vaping? Is there he says that he's reported students before. Usually, police will refer the matter HSA, and then what's the protocol like in this case?
Yeah, if member of public see anybody vaping, the first thing they should do is to call the HSA hotline.
Okay.
So there is the hotline that is available, and
Right.
I think the operating hours have also been extended recently. So they should call and report the incidents of vaping.
Okay.
Okay.
You've seen a lot with vaping. Your organization has done so much. What's the single biggest misconception, and what's the quickest way for anyone, student or parent, to debunk that on the spot?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that people feel that vaping is not as addictive as smoking. But based on analysis of the vapes that were seized by HSA, we have found that some of the vape pods can contain 4 times the amount of nicotine in a normal pack of cigarette.
Good grief.
So that's a lot. And it didn't help that in recent years, vape manufacturers have also been including more nicotine into the products. So that increases the risk of one being addicted to vaping.
Right.
Yeah. And there's also this phenomenon that some vapes manufacturers are actually advertising their products as being nicotine-free. But again, the analysis of these products has found that they are not nicotine-free. There's nicotine in them. So they do get addicted to nicotine if they use these products. We talked about K-Pods earlier, and I think we have also heard people saying that, it's okay, just give it a try, it's just one time, it's not going to affect you. But I really have to emphasize that even a single use of K-Pod or intermediate lace vape can have severe health consequences. There have been reports of people who have experienced low levels of potassium in their blood, and that can lead to muscle weakness, difficulty in breathing, and even potentially death.
Yeah.
So it is very dangerous.
Wow.
Okay. So vaping, K-Pod, it is illegal, and parents, be open about your approach.
Let's state this again, yeah?
Yep.
It's not the laced vapes that are illegal. All vapes are illegal.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, let's just state that straight up.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today. Once
Thank
again,
you.
Ms. Alice Ong, she is the Director of Preventive Health Programmes and Rewards from the Health Promotion Board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Morning Drive, 1FM, good times, greatest hits.